Welcome back. This is Young Money Markets. We got Josh, Nick, Eric, Ryan. We're excited. We got a lot going on this pod tonight. We're going to talk Bitcoin price action, and something I'm really excited to talk about is the passive income strategies. So, where do you guys want to get started?
Well, I think we'd be remiss to not bring up the recent price action and slippage with Bitcoin. And I'm definitely curious, Ryan, to get your kind of perspective on what's going on in the markets. I know that you've been making some bull calls as of late, so I'm curious if you're going to stick with that or if you're going to change your mind or what's going on.
Yep.
What's going on with Bitcoin, man?
Yep. I think I'm going to share a window here about the Bitcoin dominance, which to me, this is one of the things I look at to try to see kind of some swings in the market. And you can see right now that Bitcoin dominance is at 60.82 from a peak above 72.
Can you explain what this means by Bitcoin dominance?
Yeah. No. Yeah. So what that means is if you take the entire cryptocurrency market cap, what percent of the entire market cap is Bitcoin? And so everything else other than Bitcoin, I consider an alt market. So you got alts, which are, Ethereum and the, 5,000 other ones, and then you got Bitcoin. And what we saw in 2017 was we saw Bitcoin dominance drop significantly during the bull run. And the reason why is because people start to assume that Bitcoin's topping out. And so they start piling their money, and their friends start talking about how they're making 10 times their returns on alts, and people start getting more aggressive, kind of like what happens in the stock market as well. And what happens is eventually the whales let the Bitcoin dominance get to a certain point. Typically, it's somewhere between. You can see here the Bitcoin dominance.
Does the chart go out further?
Yeah. Let's go back further.
Are you sure we're live, Eric?
Yeah, it said we're offline. So, Josh, if you get too far back with the Bitcoin dominance, it kind of becomes irrelevant. But if you look here in 2017, basically, here's August 2017, and you could see this was 52% Bitcoin dominance, and it ran all the way up in October. And if anybody was in Bitcoin in October, November, December, you remember this was life-changing money time. And it went all the way up in December of 2017. It hit a 68% Bitcoin dominance, and then it absolutely crashed in January. And this was where people anybody that was in alts at that point, if you had an alt, it went 10 times in the matter of just a couple weeks. And so this is a pretty reliable way to see movement of where the dollars are going. And so you can see from where the Bitcoin dominance bottom out here at about 36% in January of 2018, you can see it was a steady incline. And this is where alts that were at all-time highs in January 2018, they practically all lost 90% of their value until September of 2019. And so Bitcoin is basically, I would say Bitcoin is somewhere, if you want to think about 2017, it's somewhere in this range, right? And what we're seeing here is we're seeing a steady amount of money that's pouring into alts.
So you think we'll see a continuation of alts gobbling up more market share of the total crypto market from here
through
the rest of the bull?
I think so, but you're going to see these peaks.
Now, Ryan,
and valleys.
is that necessarily a bear call on Bitcoin, or is it a bull call on the crypto market in general? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a really good question. so it's a bull call on the cryptocurrency market,
Got it.
and basically it's it's what we always end up talking about in every pod, which is the maxi kind of the problems with the Bitcoin maximalist investment theory, which is I don't want anything to do with anything other than Bitcoin. Well, if like when we enter a crypto bull run, which we haven't even started, if you compare it to 2017, if we enter a crypto bull run that includes alts and Bitcoin pumping at the same time, guys, this is like nothing that you've ever experienced before. It's insane, and there's so much FOMO that comes into it. And Bitcoin, Bitcoin's going up, but alts are going up, 2 or 3 times faster. And the question I always ask maxis is like, there's certain times in a market's trend, and I went on and on, so I'll end with this, but there's certain times in a market's trend where it's like you can almost guarantee that if I put some money there, it's going to make me money in the short term. And so what I hear from maxis is like, well, if you put your money into alts and you let it sit there, they're just going to steal your sats. And I do agree with that long term. That's why I develop more of a swing trading strategy instead of a long-term holding strategy. But if we see in 2021 what we saw in 2017 and early 2018, it's life-changing money, Nick. It's like nothing you've ever seen before for the alt market. So it's just something you have to keep an eye on. But just
I think about
yeah.
I think about certain things like I was looking at Aave, man. Aave is up.
Oh yeah.
I want to say they're up about 15,000% in the past year. Let me. Yeah, they were trading.
So is Luna. Luna's almost up 20,000%. Zilliqa's up even more than that. And I'm just like, how can these keep going?
Well,
But
right, because if you're holding,
yeah,
if you're holding those,
Yep.
then Ryan, what you're talking about, that's already sort of happened, right? Like 15,000%. That's
exactly.
the
crazy.
difference is the starting stage. We started from the trough of the pandemic. There wasn't that big, huge, once in a generation dip back in 2017 before the bull market started. So I think we actually started at a lower depressed price for cryptos because of the pandemic.
But let's
true. Good point.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this multiplier effect though, because that's really what you guys are talking about with the alts. So in the last 3 months, Bitcoin is up 51% in the last 3 months. Okay, which is great. Anybody should be happy with 51% gains in the last 3 months.
For sure.
I have on my crypto list, my watch list, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 different coins that are all up at least 1,000% versus Bitcoin. So you're seeing you're getting the multiplier
versus
effect.
Bitcoin.
Yeah. So like Luna is up 1,300% versus Bitcoin. So you're getting 1,300% plus on top of that a 51% lift from Bitcoin. If you had your money, if you bought Luna 3 months ago, I can't do the math in my head right now, but it's not, it's such crazy number, and we haven't even entered the bull market.
Look at this. So this is October 2nd, 2020. Okay, Aave was 51 cents.
Yeah.
And then as of October, okay, so how is this even possible? It went from 51 cents to $50.
Yeah.
In a day.
No.
What is this?
What is that right?
No, that's not right.
Is that not right?
I got it here.
Well, this okay. This is Coinbase, all right. They're saying that Aave was up 65,000% in a year. Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
I don't have it actually. This doesn't go back. This doesn't go back far enough.
So
All right, well, let me show another one.
so
Another
I have
one is Solana.
I have Ave,
Yeah.
I have Ave's price in front of me right now, all the way
Okay.
back to February of 2020. When I first bought Ave, I bought it at 0.0036
Oh my God.
sats.
Can you
So-
believe that, dude? That's
Sats,
crazy.
though.
Sats.
So what is that?
Yes.
What is that in dollars?
Well, at the time, Bitcoin
Can you
was,
share your screen, Ryan?
yeah, it's my complex data set though. It's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm happy to share it. It's just really complex.
Let me just take a look at Solana as well. Solana is only up a fraction of this, 1,500%. But actually, there was a point on Aave that I wanted to make. So I'm gonna make Aave. Aave was like the first of its kind. It was like a decentralized money market where people could just lend and borrow cryptocurrency without a centralized entity, kind of hand-holding the process. Equivalent on Binance. There's multiple Aave equivalents basically that exist now. And so what was like a very kind of innovative idea at the beginning was just instantly sort of like copy and pasted. So it does make me wonder, is that going to be the trend of some of these kind of interesting ideas in the crypto industry? Are they going to be just infinity? Or not infinity, but will that sort of dilute any innovation that happens in the crypto space? I don't know, but we see a lot of intellectual property ripoffs. If you go over to the Binance chain, you see PancakeSwap, then you see like 100 other swaps that look just like PancakeSwap, and it's basically like I like to call it like an intellectual property graveyard, where it's just, as far as I can see, like salt base swap, rose swap, brisket swap. So I do wonder about that. Brisket swap. What is the staying power of certain, because like code, and I guess this is a question that I have, and I'm not sure if you guys know the answer to this, but on these decentralized projects, I would assume the code has to be somewhat public, right? Like you have to be able to verify that it's a safe project.
Yeah, it's open
So
source.
It's open source.
Yeah. So
if it's open source, what's to stop, a different blockchain from just ripping off all the projects that exist on those blockchains?
Yeah, 100%. Actually, PancakeSwap supposed to be ripped off Uniswap, and there was a tweet that went viral that they actually left Uniswap the word inside their code.
That's hilarious.
So,
This made me think of what you were saying, Nick. It's like, I love CZ and I love Binance. I think they're fantastic for the cryptocurrency space. But I thought it was funny that he was like advertising there are 360 plus projects on this list alone in the BSC.
How many are swaps, dude? How
Yeah,
many of these
and
are
so
freaking?
these are all DeFi.
Can you zoom in? Okay, so there's a ton of exchanges.
Yeah, you see all these DeFi wallet game. I just thought it was funny because like what.
Those are all swaps right there.
Yeah, this is
all
solid
those
information.
exchanges.
Right
Those are just pancakes all the way down.
Can you zoom in, Ryan, on any of this?
I don't think I can. Let me see.
You don't have the Mac, dude. You're using the Windows, aren't you?
That's right.
Oh my gosh, dude. Boo.
There we go. Can you guys see this?
It shows you.
Yeah.
But if you think about the Apple products, like one of the things about Apple products is like they tried to simplify like the Steve Jobs mentality was, how can I simplify into like 5 products that are excellent instead of trying to sell 500 products that are all for a specific need. And I feel like CZ has not
figured it out.
Has not go to the swap section. The exchanges. If you look at all those exchanges, they're all basically the same thing.
Yeah, look at that peach swap, salt swap, dude. Salt swap.
Do you need all these? I don't think you need all these.
Bakery swap, burger swap,
you know what I mean?
Bamboo swap.
Think about all the management. Right?
We played in those, and they're
crazy.
That's where degeneracy is born, and
no, not even like those are borderline scams.
That's gambling.
That-
Well,
that's straight up.
So the whole idea of the pancake swap is so you can bring in your project and start getting liquidity and start getting funding and stuff and building it up so you can start
Yes.
bringing in real stuff to your project. But a lot of those are they got a little scammy taste to them, and you never actually see anything come to fruition. They're just
No, here, okay, hold
more
on.
pancake swaps.
Guys, we need to show them what we're talking about, okay? So I'm gonna pull up Salt Swap, okay, so that you guys can actually see what the
It's
hell I'm
literally
talking
the salt bay guy doing
Okay, dude, this.
Use the any of those other
yeah,
swaps?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
I've made money on
Let me
that.
tell you, this is a real story, okay? So this is Salt Swap. Can you guys see my screen here?
Go to the home page
you
where
see
you
it?
see the dude actually doing the. Oh, he's right there. Yeah, he's right there.
Okay, so guys, check this out, right?
God, it's down to 94 cents.
So Josh, wait, don't steal my thunder here, all right? So
Sorry.
when Josh and I first, this is like a few weeks ago. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, this is Road Swap. Oh, it's
wow.
not there.
Is it gone?
It's not there. It's gone.
gone.
Oh
This
my
is
god.
Tell him what happened.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
this is live. This is as
Dude,
live as
this
you
Did
can
you just
get.
put like 10
crazy.
racks in there or
Okay,
something,
guys,
dude?
check this out. Check this out. So Salt Swap and Rose Swap. Okay, so like
Oh.
originally in here, this liquidity portion, or sorry, in the farms portion. Yeah. Okay, so this APR was this APR was like 25,000% APR.
It was higher.
Okay,
Dude, it was like
it was higher, right?
it was
35.
like 60.
Okay. And the reason is because the inflation was like fucking through the roof of this salt thing. Yo,
Eric.
Yeah,
dude.
I
go.
muted him.
Oh shit. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, so this is the price of like a single salt unit, right? So like this is the native coin. When you hear us talking about mirror anchor, like this is the equivalent coin for Salt Swap. This was $400. $400 when we were in it, okay? I bought this in and I put like 3 or 4 grand in at 300. I actually made money on this one. I lost money on Rose Swap, which is now gone forever, which is so shocking to me.
Wow.
But this was $400 or $300, then it went up to $400. Then it just fell through the floor and now it's
Dude.
94 cents per like Josh, what do you think about this, dude? We haven't
But
seen
that's
this.
the thing.
This is
If we look,
crazy.
Ryan, can you bring that snapshot of all
Wait,
the
let's look at
projects again?
what is it, Sushi Swap?
There's
Josh?
sushi. There's ramen swap.
Ramen Swap, that was the one. That was the one.
Ramen swap. I
think
actually made.
sushi is probably still active, right?
Yeah, sushi is a
So-
big one. That's on the
Yeah.
Ethereum platform.
Yeah.
Yo,
that's
check
what I
this
thought.
out. Check this out, Josh.
I
$1.64.
made good money on this one, but the price was not $1.06 when I did. It was
It
like,
was like 20, right? 15 to 20.
Yeah, it was like, I think it got up to 50 one time. But this one's actually. So what confuses me is there's still value locked up in these things.
Right.
You know what I
but
mean?
I think it's just the like the founders, like the original founders' money.
Yeah.
You
So
should check out Kiwi Finance.
so you can actually
Kiwi
look,
Finance.
Yeah.
you can actually look at the BSC scan on these and look at the transactions and actually look at the actual price of some
Dude,
of these things.
This
And
is
some of them show-
another
Dude,
the
yeah.
same shit.
They're
dude.
all the same. They're all
This
literally
is-
all the same.
Oh my god.
And it's
Dude.
like, dude, there's no really value to these. These are just gambling sites.
So
This is just gambling.
what were you saying, Josh? That basically it's a way to validate the sites.
okay.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, Nick. So if you can click on, I think it was in the bottom left corner. You can click on the actual,
Well, when
There
I
you
st-
go.
when I went and started to go shopping
Yeah.
for my coin, I'm like
Click
looking
down
for
there.
platforms too, and like people, you can actually buy a swap platform now. There was like
You-
5 or
you
6
get-
websites.
you get-
But hey, guys, You can do a dark mode. Look at the pretty colors around the corners of this.
Dude, these are trash. Straight
What did you
trash.
say? What were you saying, Josh? Sorry, I
The
cut you off.
BSC scan, this you can look at the actual transactions and look at the actual price
Where-
of this thing.
Yeah, this one has gotten more developed. I will say they added like all this shit to it. This wasn't there before, audited by Surtech. Like this wasn't there. Lottery, like all this stuff. But still, like the basic premise is just it's just
Check out
bullshit.
details once maybe. I think if you click on the salt, the actual price down there. Click on that.
That
I
didn't
don't
bring
know.
it. Didn't do
You got to bring up the BSC scan of the actual thing, and a lot of them have an actual price of $0. And then you can go in and look through it, and you're like,
Dude.
dude, there's one big account that has all the money, and then there's a couple little guys, and basically they got to be either the people who developed it or developers' friends, and they can see when you jump in and basically kind of get the price going to get people coming in, and then they pull the rug or they add more tokens and they dilute it, and basically
Well,
they just steal
okay.
your money.
Let me stop sharing. So my big problem with this is why the hell is Kiwi Swap and Salt Swap? Why are those in that guy's tweet? Isn't that guy supposed to be the reputable guy
I don't
from
think
Binance?
he goes and looks
No,
at him.
that's bullshit though. That's
No,
bullshit.
yeah. I mean, he's managing all the details of, you know, if you contact Binance and you come with an idea
my
like,
God.
hey, this is how you help your site, they listen, they do. Why are they doing this? I just don't. It doesn't make any
Wait,
sense.
what do you mean they listen, Ryan? I got
Well,
4
I know.
BNB lost in the ether 4 weeks ago. I sent in a service request for them to help me with that because they're supposed to be able to, because it's centralized, like CFI, DeFi, whatever.
They still didn't pay you back?
They still
Wow.
haven't responded to my my request.
But
For
did you go in
BNB?
the Telegram though?
Yeah, for BNB. No, I
Wow.
haven't gotten a Telegram because I'm too busy. But you know, I need to go and like now I need to go harass somebody. I
Go
gotta
into
find
the
somebody to
Telegram
harass,
because that's how they do their support is all through Telegram.
which is bullshit. I
You
mean,
know
that's
what?
total bullshit.
I haven't done anything with them before since the bull market has started. They always, like, they would respond to me in a day. So yeah, that's shocking to me.
They get
Well, they must
they've
have
had
gotten
so
way
many
busier.
signups. Yeah. They were saying they were getting like tens of thousands of new signups daily.
I saw that.
Like there's a backlog. Like Jake, it took him a month to get approved. Same with Zach.
Wow.
Took him a month.
Well, you guys remember back in 2017, people were selling their Binance accounts for like $50,000.
Oh my
Really?
God! No way!
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
way!
no.
Really?
That's what I'm saying, guys. Like
Damn.
we have not even entered the bull market yet. When it gets crazy, like your uncle's going to be calling you, being like, "Hey, I thought I heard you talk about Bitcoin at some point." Like that's when you know it's getting crazy.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, to that point, so back to the whole like, what do we think is going to happen with Bitcoin? I just heard an interview today with Kathy Woods and Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And they were talking about Bitcoin, and the question came up, you know, what's going on with the price slide in Bitcoin, and I thought it was really interesting because if you followed Mr. Wonderful, he's basically been kind of a crypto bear. You know, he's been one of those guys that's pretty much said, you know, this is Fugazi, this is kind of BS.
Yeah.
But he's changed his tone on it, and now he's talking about how he wants to be procuring like vegetarian, like vegan raised Bitcoin, where like the energy is all clean energy mined. And he called out, he was like some of these countries are not mining cryptocurrency or specifically Bitcoin in a clean way. And I think in the future, he was saying in the future, he thought that there's going to be more and more focus on this. But one of the things he said was $1 trillion as an asset class is tiny. And that's interesting, right? Because that puts things in perspective. Okay, well, all right, you know, I hear you. $1 trillion is small. There's a number of companies that are that big. So, you know, to me, that was bullish. and I think he's right. I'm definitely not selling here. I do think that we tread water to go lower. Actually, I think we could see 45, 43K Bitcoin again. Before kind of a consolidation period, and then we see kind of a movement to the upside. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's kind of what I could see happening. And I'm not really a technical analysis guy. I'm more kind of just
So
going
I
based
actually
on
talked
my
to
feel.
some friends yesterday about this, and basically, fucking yeah, it's a bad situation, man. It's not good. It's
For what?
The energy
what
stuff.
what Nick was just talking about.
Well,
Oh.
Nick brought up a few things though. Sorry, Josh, did you want to say something?
No, go ahead. Finish that thread.
No, because
Well,
Russia and China, they could be using coal, or they could be using they could be using these alternate
Yes.
sources of energy that are producing so much CO2, and that are it's basically global warming, like hardcore.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know if we can break it all down in this one podcast. I think I want to personally spend a little bit more time on this topic, but just to kind of go through some of the things that I had on my Twitter feed based on what you're talking about, Nick, and this is a follow up from our conversation the other day. NYDIG, the Bitcoin firm, just confirmed that sovereign wealth funds have approached them with inquiries, meaning central governments are contacting them on how they can get access to Bitcoin. Remember how last time we were talking about the bond market being $100 trillion and how we're, a lot of the upward movement in Bitcoin is going to come from that. This basically trumps all. When central governments start getting advice that you need to be putting some of your funds here for a couple reasons. Let's think about this, fellas. If you're a central government, one is a hedge against basically the people taking over their own currency. If you believe there's any chance of that happening, you better start buying now.
That's such a good point. Such a good point.
So that's one. The second thing is everyone wants more money. These sovereign wealth funds, they're going to want to get access to something with such high upside. So we're seeing that. I also saw
if you're in Nigeria or Argentina or a number of different countries.
Venezuela.
Venezuela, and you're like, we're gonna lose control because our populace is gonna. You'd have to be dumb not to be buying Bitcoin. You got to buy the thing that they're buying to hedge against you.
Yeah, and I saw I think it was Tyler Winklevoss tweeted about this, that Singapore is $306 billion sovereign wealth fund. They're buying Bitcoin since 2018, and so what we're seeing is that there's governments, and we talked about last time, I think it's Iran that's starting mining and they've started to invest. So Nick asked like a really good question last time of where does this money come from? How do we get to 10 trillion, let alone 100 trillion? Like that's insane. Like it's crazy to me, Nick, because like this has always been an insane conversation with insane people of like, global reserve and all this stuff. And like all of a sudden, like the things are actually happening that not exactly global reserve things, but like the things that would be the foundation of a global reserve are starting to happen, which is pretty nuts.
Man, I think this is so bullish. This literally what you just said in the last 20 seconds, Ryan, makes me so bullish, dude. I just
bought some while you're saying that.
I know, dude. There's so much to what you're saying, and I had to be reminded of that just now. I forgot that these countries that are struggling with inflation, real inflation, and have issues, they would have to be foolish and to not buy in. I think that just makes me so bullish. I don't want to sell my corn anymore.
if they just have a couple people in these global or in these government organizations that are actually real and they're not in just their propaganda spin, then they have to look at look at Bitcoin and say, man, like it doesn't make like why don't we take the dollars that we can print for nothing today? We can take dollars and literally print them for nothing, and we can take those dollars from our people and we can put it into Bitcoin. Why wouldn't you do that today while it still has value?
Well, you
Where
know,
else do you put it? If you got Venezuelan dollars or pesos and or
Yep.
Argentinian,
well, you could put it in the,
pesos,
well, so
where do
wait,
you
well,
put it?
so on this topic, I think it's important, as always, important to be pragmatic and actually think through the answer to that type of
Yeah,
question, Josh, as opposed to just saying, oh yeah, for sure, you know,
that's why I
nothing,
asked it,
nothing to do
because
with it. I know.
it's
But
not just
most
BTC.
people to questions like that would go, yeah, nowhere to put it. You got to buy Bitcoin. The answer isn't just default Bitcoin. It's through critical thought. It ends up at Bitcoin, right?
Mhm.
But one of the questions that, or one of the answers to the question that you posed, which I think is a good one, is what about infrastructure? Their money is worth something right now today. I mean, they have to print a lot of it for it to be worth something, but they have issues. I mean, the countries that we're talking about have dire issues with infrastructure, with clean water and roads and all sorts of things.
Yep, energy
So
grid and yep.
yeah, so you've got to think about it from that standpoint of, you know, is it really about managing the balance sheet and thinking about the long term with these countries, or is it about, you know, how can we support the country that needs a lot of help right now? And I, you know, there's a lot of intricacy in that. There's a lot of intricacy in that, and some of it is probably goes to a dark place where some of these countries are probably corrupt and there's alternative motives that are at play.
As
But
for the individual
you
in
know,
those countries, they have to look, because they can't afford
that's a
to
different question.
build usually. That's a
That's
different
right.
question. I mean,
Yes.
that's where the Bitcoin thing makes more sense. Because they're corrupt overlords or whatever you want to call them are stealing their wealth basically.
That's
They're
right.
working all
What
day
it
and
Yes.
is.
they're printing
Yep.
into infinity and diluting the the value of their currency. So
That's
Yeah.
right.
We should do this topic justice by breaking it out and talking about, because there is some game theory involved with this, and I think that this topic of like sovereign states investing in Bitcoin because the people that are part of the communities could potentially overthrow some government control. There's a lot of like kind of intricate things that play there, and it's fascinating. I mean,
It is.
absolutely, it's so fascinating that it might be one of the most interesting concepts from an economic standpoint that may have
Yeah,
ever existed, because
that's
this
right.
concept of a global currency that goes across borders and is it cannot be debased, right? That's a new concept. That's
That's right.
not some like infinitely existing concept. That's a new concept. So I think that this is something that we should probably break out separately and maybe we cover on a separate podcast, and we should probably do some research to kind of talk through it. But I'd like to understand, if you are in this, let's say that you control the government of Venezuela, what are you doing with your balance sheet, with your money,
That's
right?
right.
We
Yeah.
can kind of think through the different scenarios, but it
They,
is definitely, it's complicated,
but they made
but
the
very
petrol.
interesting.
That's why they made the petrol, right?
That's why
Yeah.
they made the petrol.
Yeah, they made the petrol. The petrol is a coin
A
that's
digital
backed by
coin.
oil. It's
I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't know.
called.
I didn't know it was backed by oil.
Yeah,
Are
it's
you sure
backed
about
by.
that, Eric?
It's backed by the Venezuelan oil.
Okay. Wow. I didn't realize
is it
that.
on is it an ERC-20?
Is it a cryptocurrency or is it a
Yeah,
real?
it's a altcoin.
It's
Oh,
a
there
It's
we
an
digital
go.
currency.
altcoin. Yeah, it's crypto.
Yeah. It's a central digital currency. They launched it, I think, in 2018.
Yeah, it's the new.
Wow.
It's the new Venezuelan dollar. This is the petrol.
Yeah. Guys, yeah, and I'm with you, Nick. I think this deserves more time. If you guys don't mind, I'd like to share my screen again. give me a second to share my piece on this, because this was one of the things that was coming around, and let's get into it at another time in more detail. But this was something that was floating around, and is a piece that was written by Nick Carter, and he was really attacked on Twitter about his article that I have up here, the frustrating, maddening, all-consuming Bitcoin energy debate. And so I think it'd be smart for all of us to read this, and maybe we can touch on it on a future podcast and get into it more detail. But let me just ask you and the viewers one question. Let's just say that Bitcoin becomes what we hope it could become, which is not only a global currency that can stretch across boundaries, not only a global currency that doesn't require a middleman, not only the most secure network in the world, not only pretty much the only unhacked and unhackable, at least at this point, financial asset and security in the world. But let me ask you this question. If I shared that description with you and I said, hey, there's this centralized company that has the most secure, largest, there's no CEO, potentially replaces the world's currency, and all of these things, has a global following of multiple million people, of brand advocates with no marketing strategy whatsoever. There are these people that have this hold or hodl, advertising campaign that there's no dollars behind it. They just share it. There's people that the CEO has never spent a single one of the Genesis coins that he mined, or that they mined, or whomever. Just all of these things. Like if I said here's this company, or here's this thing, here's this product, the first question I would ask is, would you say that requires energy to run, or that is something of such value that we should throw our collective resources at making sure that exists? And to me, the question is, yes, we should do that. The second thing that I would ask us is, I would say, okay, do we understand money? And first of all, the answer is no, we do not understand money. Money is the result of your energy being spent, and you receive money in return for your energy. You can then take your energy in the form of money, and you can go take it to somebody else, and you can give them your energy for their energy that they created in a product. You can take it back to solve yourself a problem. Now, when there's no energy that's required to make that money, you break the system, and it's no longer actually real money. And so what I would be concerned about, I would be more concerned if we were saying we are making a secure, everything that I said about it, that it's a secure network, the most secure network in the world, and it's all of these things. I would be more concerned if we said all those things, and then our response was, and it's a green product. It doesn't require any energy. I would be very worried, because I would say that is impossible. It is impossible for you to create real money from nothing. And I think that those two things, the true value of what Bitcoin can actually do for the world, and the reality of what it actually takes to produce real money, is what I think people are missing globally. And it all comes back to what money actually is.
Yeah, well, and I've heard another pretty compelling point made on this same topic, which is, well, what do you think the energy consumption is of Wells Fargo? What's the energy consumption of Bank of America? You go to any major downtown hub in the United States, at least, and you'll find plenty of square footage and office space that's using everything from HVAC to lighting to water, all sorts of all the water that goes into it was produced at a plant. You got to think about the whole downstream impact of the whole financial sector, understand that, and then compare it against Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin is not just this thing where it's like, oh yeah, we're comparing Bitcoin to like nothing. Like there's no energy consumption in the alternative. Like no, not at
Yeah.
all. It's quite the opposite. Especially when you think about well, what's the man? If you really want to go crazy with it, think about the janitorial services that go into
Yeah.
upkeeping these retail facilities. Think about all the cars that transport all the janitors to the different facilities, right? All of these different things you need to account for because that's the comparison. Bitcoin,
Mhm.
it's just a direct one-to-one, and then there's a
You gotta
way
take
more
the total
complicated.
cost.
You got to look at the whole thing, man. All the
It, it,
negative externalities that come from
it'd
it.
be interesting to see the stimulus check, how much it costed them to send it all out to everybody.
Yeah.
The
Right.
true cost,
Right.
everything, like
That's
all,
true.
Oh
Probably
my
like
God,
$1
yeah.
million.
and then
I think,
compare
more than $1 million.
and then compare that shit to how much it costs Bitcoin to release $2 million worth
I
of
bet you it's
Bitcoin.
100-fold difference. I bet you it's a
Yeah.
100-fold difference in terms of energy use and
And-
cost.
Well, and one of the other things we've been planning on talking about, and I don't think we're going to be able to get through tonight, is the second layer of Bitcoin. Josh, I know Josh had some thoughts. I also think like everything I said, I believe is true that in order to have real money, you need real energy. But I also think that there's going to be innovation that's going to happen over the next couple of decades. And Josh, do you think some of that innovation could be on the layer 2 of potentially making Bitcoin transactions more efficient?
Yeah, yeah, and the only thing that kind of bothered me on some of those layer 2 things was um it's no longer Bitcoin. On the RSK, you have to change it into RBTC and then send that, and then it like it goes
Which is a
faster.
taxable event, by the way.
That's what
That's
I'm
right.
wondering. Like, is
It
it a
is.
taxable event?
Yeah,
Right?
it is.
So it
It
is.
is.
So
It
you're
is.
actually converting your
Yeah.
Bitcoins into something else that is basically a synthetic Bitcoin and then sending that, right? That's
Because
the
like
same thing.
the way like layer 2 stuff works is kind of like this guy has a bunch of Bitcoin and then this guy has a bunch of Bitcoin and then like you're gonna send Bitcoin to your friend and like basically your friend's wallet is under custody of this rich guy and your wallet's under custody of this rich guy and then like they're doing IOUs to each other, saying like, oh,
Right.
I'm gonna owe you this much and then
That's Lightning though, right?
yeah,
You're
that's
talking
what
about
Lightning.
That's what I'm
Lightning
talking about.
works
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. So
That's how they
Lightning
work.
is different. That's basically Rick Ryan and I we're going to do business and a lot of transactions in the future. Instead of saying, "Hey, we're going to settle it each and every time we transact," let's do, once a month, and or once quarterly, and we'll print it to the blockchain once a month because we trust each other. So we'll send each other 50
Right.
to however many transactions we want during that time, but only pay for one um, blockchain, I guess, writing. And
Right.
that's huge because then you could pile in and send way more transactions and micropayments and spend way less on fees. So that to me is very enticing for um, the value of Bitcoin and as a payments in the future.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we're gonna have to get into that more. I think there's a lot to dig in, like Nick said. I had two other kind of bullish Bitcoin charts, if you guys don't mind me sharing before
Oh yeah, let's
we
let's
kind of
look at
wrap
it.
up here.
Oh, we're bullish today, boys. I gotta say, Ryan, before you start on this,
Yeah.
I saw this,
joined
right?
I joined the podcast today, kind of feeling like, yeah, maybe we see 6 weeks. I was thinking 4 to 6 weeks of sideways to downward movement. Look,
Yeah.
we could still see that, but I was
Yeah.
thinking, I'm just, I'm not. I don't know where the money comes
Yeah.
from, but I gotta say, man, you were really compelling today, and some of the stuff that you've shown has made me more bullish than I've been in a little bit of time. So I appreciate it, sir. Go ahead.
Well, don't blame it on
Onward.
me if it goes wrong.
Yeah, now
But-
watch. It'll be like, you got it? No,
Yeah, this is not financial advice, guys. This
This is not financial advice.
Yeah.
Josh, what do you think about this chart? I assume this is some type of standard moving average. I didn't
That's
see.
just two happenstance things going on, right? Like it just happened to pull back in time. Because if we go back in time, that didn't happen, right?
Exactly. This is only, how far back is this going here? It's not going that far back, but I do think that everything always goes through
Let's
what's
explain though what's the
yeah,
importance that
go
someone's
ahead,
trying to.
Josh. Yeah.
So the dotted lines here are options expiration, and basically what's happening is the options expire once. These are monthlies, yeah. So they expire once a month, right? Last Friday of each month, right on those dotted lines. And what that means is basically you either have to buy or sell those options. And what they're saying is, or what they're hinting at is, people will
Right.
the whales will push the price down, get some selling pressure, so their options are in the money, and they
It's
make money on that little chunk right before it closes. They cash out, and then they go back up. They do it again, and they could be doing that. It's
yeah,
tough to prove or not, but it's only happened twice, right? And
right.
it could totally be coincidence.
It's probably likely that it's a coincidence, but I thought it was an interesting chart, and I've seen it floating around Twitter a lot this week. That I assume, Josh, does that mean the guys are probably they're selling so they can buy back in lower for their new contract? Is that what that would look like?
So if you look at the peaks, right, in the red squares.
Yeah.
So if you look at December 11th, around there, that first peak, um, yeah, right there, right there. So right in there, they're basically like, all right, let's buy some options, some put options, which means they're going to
Mhm.
make money on the price going down, and they'll expire right there where
Yeah.
you're yeah, on that dotted line, and they'll sell their Bitcoin, right? They'll sell it and get the price moving down, because they're whales. They can actually move the market. So momentum traders will start selling and follow them into it. Basically, they'll make a shit ton of money on their leveraged
Yep.
option positions, and then they start buying back up, and they do it again for get it ready for the next month.
So this is basically saying like, look, we're same trend follows. We're at the bottom of this thing, and now it's
Yeah.
time for another pop up, right? That's what this is
Yeah.
saying.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
I think it's coincidence. I think there's too spread out, the whales in the Bitcoin community. I just don't I
Yeah,
don't
because
see
like
that.
some things with Bitcoin are pretty like it's kind of like predictable, you know, like I think like on the weekends crypto goes up and then like people kind of like sell off into Monday, Tuesday to buy
Which
more
is
stuff.
annoying, which is annoying as hell, by the way, because I own that cryptocurrency miner, HUD 8 mining. Bitcoin rockets on the weekends
That's
when
true.
HUD 8
Yeah.
can't trade, right?
Yeah.
Seriously, this has happened like multiple weekends. Then on Monday it tanks and HUD 8's like, yeah, nothing happened. I'm like, what? It was just up so much. It's so annoying, man. It's so annoying. Because you know why? Because I own HUD 8 in my Roth account, my Roth
Okay.
401k account, and so I actually don't have to pay taxes on gains the same way
Yep.
in the Roth. So I would like to be able to sell and get some, do
Right.
some day trading in that account, but I can't be. Well, I haven't been able to because the big pops have been on the weekends, and then Eric, like you said, on the weekdays, it tends to sink down. So
We
There's a
have
big
annoying.
sell off in HUD 8 today. That would have been a nice little buy spot.
Oh my God, man, it was so
If you're a buyer,
juicy.
that would have been a great buy spot.
650 for HUD 8. Oh my God, guys, HUD 8. Let me just say this real quick. HUD 8 increased their balance sheet for Bitcoin from 3,000 Bitcoin to yeah, but it was all the way down at like 650 today. 649 I think is low. Maybe it was even lower than that.
By how many Bitcoins?
Well,
Is that over the quarter?
17% increase in one quarter. That's how many additional Bitcoin that they stashed away in
Okay.
one quarter, dude. Up 17% Bitcoin. on
They hit a
their
low
number
of
of Bitcoins.
613. They hit a low right at the
Yeah.
open.
So that news release yesterday. So I'm
That's right.
confused on why we saw a big dip for the morning.
Because we saw Bitcoin slide. We saw Bitcoin slide, and we know what their business plan is. Thing
Hold
with
Bitcoin.
HUT
Yeah,
is
hold Bitcoin.
if you own HUT, you're that's a direct play on Bitcoin. Like
Yep.
even more so than owning like Riot or Mara,
Yeah.
which are also miners, but they're selling their Bitcoin, man. So that you
Right.
got to think they're doing the traditional. They're trying to optimize for the income statement, optimize for the balance sheet. The HUT 8 company is holding all of their Bitcoin, dude. So
Yep.
if you hold HUT 8, you're holding a levered Bitcoin play is what my thing is, and I own quite a bit of it. I own right around 5,700 shares worth, and I'll be holding, and if Bitcoin goes to 100K, that will at least double, maybe triple. We'll see what happens. But today was a good time to buy HUT if you were looking at it. But maybe you'll see lower prices if Bitcoin moves down. There might be better entry points. So.
Which we could close it out with that, with where we think prices are going.
Yeah, I just wanted to show this just real quick. This last thing. Can you guys see this chart?
Yeah.
So what this is this is a chart that's showing how many Bitcoin, and I've been showing charts similar to this a few times on the pod. This is moving to 215,000 Bitcoin moved to strongholders' wallets. So I believe this is correlated to exchange wallets, but it specifically says increasing illiquid supply, decreasing illiquid supply.
How do they know though, Ryan, who these wallets are? That's the thing, because I get that all the ledger is public, but how do they know whose wallets these are? I don't get it.
What they know is those wallets are old as dirt, and basically no one's selling out of those wallets.
Right. So you should be able to see all the transactions in and out of every wallet, theoretically, right? So theoretically, you should be able to see all the transaction history of every single wallet on the blockchain.
You definitely can.
I don't totally know the answer to your question, Nick, but I will say the Glassnode is very reputable and probably top of the industry as far as what they call it on-chain analysis, I guess. So to me, there is some trust involved for me when I look at these charts. So I don't know the answer, but they're saying it's a 3-year all-time high.
No,
this stuff is totally findable too. Like with all the transparency, you can look at the blockchain. If you've taken the time to look at all the wallets, especially the Genesis ones, and look at all those, and if there's still money going into those, someone still owns those, and they haven't sold anything from them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. And imagine what happens when a Bitcoin ETF hits. There's going to be a Bitcoin ETF that's going to hit in 2021, and talk about an inflow of cash that didn't have access to an asset prior. It's going to be huge, man. It's going to be huge. So
yeah, I think when the Coinbase IPO happens, that's when basically it's going to be like everyone investing into Coinbase is investing into Coinbase, so Coinbase can buy more Bitcoin, type of thing. That's how I feel the IPO for Coinbase is going to go. Like they're just going to take our money and then like buy more Bitcoin with it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, let's do the prediction, Josh. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, as far as what do I think, I don't know, but I would like to see lower prices personally. I am still super long, slightly leveraged, but I've been saying this for a little bit that I thought we were just a little overheated, and I wanted to show just a couple of these quick little charts I found on Twitter today. That we're ahead last time, or compared to last bull run. And let me show this real quick. You guys see that?
Yep.
So you can see the halvings here. I know it's kind of small, so we'll just focus on these top three here. This is after the halving, and how many months after halving. So if you look at 0 here, here's the first halving. Obviously, it's going to be more volatile because it was a much smaller market cap, so we got pretty overheated twice. And you can kind of see these red lines here where it's like the bands of where the price action is. And like if you look at now this third halving, we've been like hot compared to the second one. And I don't know if that's from the extra printing, if this is going to be the new norm, but we're on the top band too. If you look at the stock to flow model too, it's the same thing. We're at the top band.
Well, wait a minute, Josh. Can you go back to that? What are these? Because I've seen these types of charts before, and candidly, I've never asked this question. I probably should have. I don't know. I can't see it pulled up on your screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are these ranges, man?
These are based off these aren't directly based off the stock to flow charts, but they're very similar. So when the stock to flow, it's those are based off. They use gold and silver to look at price appreciation in dollar terms with what according to the supply coming in and how much supply is going to continue coming in, and so they create these bands to
Okay.
show like, hey, with the monetary inflation that's going on, this is what we'll see after the halving, because when the halving happens, right, there's less supply coming in, so inflation shrinks. So you should see a price appreciation start to happen after that. And if you look at the stock to flow model, it's happening, according to schedule. And
I just don't know if I fully understand what these ranges are. I want to believe what I'm looking at here, and actually it lines up with my personal belief, which is also that Bitcoin trends sideways or goes down. But I don't, if I'm honest, I don't really understand what the different, well, what these ranges are. And I guess it's the blue line between 1 and 10 on the y-axis, and the red line, or is it the blue line?
So you see what the price is, right? So the price is this line, that's Bitcoin price.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's the first step. And then
Yep.
it's the bands is the red down to the blue for this one, for this
The
cycle.
red down to the blue.
And
not the blue down to the blue?
No, blue to red. When it crosses, this is just, we'll look at the first halving here, after the first halving. So first halving happens here. This is 0. And months after halving.
Yep.
And basically, according to the monetary inflation or the stock to flow model, it'll follow this kind of near the green here.
Stock to flow model. Whose stock to flow model? What is the stock to flow model?
Okay, so if you
Plan B.
haven't, this is going to be your homework. You got to go and look at the stock to flow model by Plan B. He's got a great medium article on it. It's dense, but go check it out. It's worth a read.
Read that, and then read the stock to flow X as well, which is the second version.
Yep.
Onward.
So if you look at it, of course volatility is going to be higher back then. So we got a little overheated. This is a huge pullback, in dollar terms.
Oversold. It got oversold.
Well, it was way overbought. Like we just got, according to the stock to flow, right?
Right.
We just got way overbought. And then on the second halving, we were a little more tame. And we didn't actually kind of breach it until the end of the bull market.
Now, why didn't this blue line extend out? I don't understand that.
Here's the red and here's the blue. See it?
I can't see your mouse, but on the second halving, I see blue extend out to where that 985.6 is. and then it
Okay,
doesn't
yeah.
extend
So
further.
so that's the third halving. So you got
That's the one we're in now.
Yep. This is where we're at now. So right here,
Well, what's
our
the
price
upper end?
stops.
Hang on, Josh. What's the upper end of the band on the second halving?
Right here, the red one. The upper end
So you
is
said the upper end of the first halving was the blue line.
no, it's the red. Ryan, are you following
I just
Ryan,
asked you this too.
I got to be honest with you, Josh. I am following you because I've studied this stuff pretty
Right.
close. But it is, this guy is making it a little bit more complicated than I think it needs to be.
Because
so
well, hang on. The reason I'm asking is because I think that I'm asking legitimate questions.
I know,
And
It's
I
tough.
think we need, but I think we need to just look at things for what they are. Look at things for what they are. If the band is the blue to blue, and I think you're right, Josh. I should
It's
go
red to
back
blue.
and read this. Is it red to blue? Because the first time
Red's
you
red's
said it
the
was
upper.
blue to blue.
Okay,
Hey,
sorry.
Stop,
It's
stop for a second. Go to the bottom left graph. This will clear it up.
Okay.
there you go.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is the whole history. So I don't understand what BPT means, Josh, but typically what the colors are related to is they're typically related to RSI, the relative strength index is typically what those colors are. So that's why I'm getting confused, Josh. I just don't know what the BPT is, but here, Josh, you explain it from here.
So you got
Good luck.
if you know the stock
Stock to
flow,
flow, baby.
this makes so
It's-
yeah.
it's
So like I
so
can't go back. Like
sensical.
once you
That's
read
right.
it, it's like okay, shit. I gotta go back to times
So,
before
Josh,
I read it.
let's just
But
get back to the main question. What do you think is happening with Bitcoin? What do you think is happening with Bitcoin in the next
okay,
2 to 3 weeks?
I think it's more sideways, sideways down.
Sideways to down. Okay.
Down
Which is in line with this stock to flow, right? We're at the top. We're a little overheated,
I think we're a little
right?
overheated. But this could be that's the thing with me. Like I want to just be set up for we continue the bull market from here, which we could. I wouldn't be surprised, but I would like to see more sideways, even lower, so we can get cheaper corn.
Accumulate
I wanna
more.
see, like-
Okay.
Like 33K.
Yeah, that'd be great.
33K.
That'd be great.
Holy
No
shit.
way. No way.
I don't know if we're gonna
Absolutely
see
not.
33K.
So,
You think we're gonna see a 33K?
In the
If
previous
it doesn't hold Elon, the place where Elon Musk bought it at 46,000, he just bought
I
it
don't
like.
think I don't think it'll go lower than that. I think that's the new
Yeah,
floor.
if it doesn't go lower than Elon Musk's buy-in price, then we won't see it. But if it goes lower than that, then it breaks that resistance. I think we'll see 33K. Because last time the bull market went up to 20K and it came down to 3K. So hypothetically, this one would go up to what 50K.
Yeah.
If you come down to 5K,
Yeah.
right?
Something like that.
Similar math.
Okay, well my price prediction is similar. I think to what Josh just said, I think we see sideways move in. And you know what? I'm fine. I'm holding. I'm not gonna sell. I would be interested in maybe selling at 60, but I'm not selling down here. No way. I'll just hold it for forever.
Right.
I mean, and the only reason I would sell is which is a different topic, but sell to go into Mirror for passive income, and also to invest more in Tesla, which has some exposure to Bitcoin. And my hypothesis is that if Bitcoin runs like crazy, I think the whole crypto market will follow, including Mirror. And so my rewards will go up in value as well.
Ooh, that'll be nice.
I think that would be huge. So
I think I
Anyway.
saved my money by putting it into Mirror, man. Because I had a bunch of Ethereum that I put into Mirror, and it's like now it's kind of like not moving as fast, and I feel like Ethereum crashed, and I would have lost like $500, but instead it's safe in the Mirror protocol.
Dude! Dude,
dude, yes.
I just
man,
get
that's
excited
exactly
about
right.
Mirror.
Yeah, but that's
Did you see
kind of right.
your Ethereum actually went up when the price came down? Like your number of Ethereum tokens? Went up.
Well, I just have I have a Tesla. I have Tesla.
Oh, you have
USDC.
Tesla? So
Yeah,
have
I
you
just
seen
put all
the
in
Tesla go? When Tesla goes down, your Tesla amount actually goes up. Like you stack Tesla on the way down.
Eric, you're playing in my sandbox now.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually down. I'm
you know,
taking out all my.
I
I
own
took
that
out all my
liquidity
Robinhood
pool, right?
money to put in there.
You know, I'm the biggest player in there, dude. I'm a whale in there. I'm just kidding.
You
He's
are though.
flexing on you.
We could start making some proposals and actually voting on there. I think with like how much power we got.
We
We
want to
don't have any
do
mirror.
HUD,
I don't own
HUD
any
8.
mirror. Yeah, HUD 8
I
would be
have
cool.
a little bit. This is what I was looking for, Ryan.
This is exactly what Josh is showing. This is just maybe just
so
a little
much
bit
clearer.
just a little bit clear. But
Dude.
this is like we're like right here. Because this is a couple days old.
But look, this is telling me a different story. So which one is it?
Which
one is it?
Let me explain, okay? So let's just think about, we got 3 halvings. We're in the middle of the 3rd halving season, right? So this was the first halving right here. You see where my mouse is?
Yep.
This was the first halving. Let's just say that, okay? This was the second halving, something like this. This is what the prediction is for this halving, this blue line. This is
going to be more aggressive.
This is the actual price. Okay. That's really all you need to know. All you need to know is that we are literally right on what Plan B projected back in like 2018, like 2018 or 2019. Like Nick, like seriously, like think about this. Think about a guy creating a projection of something that's going to go up almost 10 times the value 2 years from when he did it, and it literally hits the line exactly.
It's incredible. No,
it is incredible.
It is, yeah. It is.
So this is the bullish case for Bitcoin. And if you look, this is the original stock to flow model. These colors as they go up.
But Ryan, you don't think? Can you go back? Can you go back to that other page? You don't think we're going to hit 100K by April 18th, do you? That's in like 2 weeks.
No, I don't. I do think it's possible for us to hit 100K in May. Not financial advice, but I really believe that, and it's because of what I was showing you earlier, the Bitcoin dominance stuff. And who knows, like maybe the stock market continues to suffer here and then that doesn't happen, Nick. But if like we start to see the momentum pick up again, I really believe April and May are going to be crazy months for Bitcoin.
Sure. Okay.
And Bitcoin, it also feels a little seasonal. Like it really picks up and gets the hottest like right at Christmas time when everyone already spent their money on gifts and stuff.
Well, we have the stimmies, dude. This is a stimmy trade this week. But look, it's getting late. It's getting dark out here. You can hardly see me anymore. And Ryan, I know it's getting late your time.
Yeah,
so why don't we close this out?
Yep. All right, fellas. Yeah, no, we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back Sunday. We're actually gonna have a guest on Sunday, and we're going to have somebody call in. We're gonna give them some of our thoughts on investing. So have an interesting conversation with somebody that's a little bit newer in the game. So I'm excited for that, and I guess we'll see how the market ends this week, and we'll see you all on Sunday. So
awesome.
See you then.
All right, thanks guys for tuning in. Young Money Markets.